So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten middleweight Hamzah Sheeraz. Hamzah, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, Danny. Very well. Just training hard out here in LA, and that's it. We're looking forward to fighting that.
And just a month away now from that long-awaited return to the ring. I think by the time you step in there, it'll be 9 months to the day, in fact, since you were last in action. A hand injury being the main reason for sitting on the shelf for that time. Just tell us a bit about that, how you sustained it and what the rehab's been like.
No, it was just in the fight. It was in the 2 rounds I had in my last fight. I don't know when or how I done it. I done it in the fight. But obviously, I didn't feel it because of the adrenaline. Then went in the change room, my hand just like ballooned up, and then I realised I'd done something. But touch wood, everything since then has been all right. I got the surgery done. Rehab's been on point. I come out here to LA, I think about 8 weeks ago. 8 weeks. I've just been grafting over here, and that's it really. Everything's going to plan, and it's a good feeling to get that. Bless you, mate. It's a good feeling to get that fight energy back. So I'm looking forward to it.
And everything's come quite far so far. You're still only 24 years old, unbeaten, as I said earlier. Has there been positives to having a bit of time away from the ring?
There has been, because it allows you to grow as a person. Do you know what I mean? You can step back from boxing a little bit. I was still training and whatnot, but you can step back from boxing a little bit and just, do a bit of community work and just do stuff that grows you as a person, to be fair, because you're so emotionally, physically and spiritually invested in your boxing. When you have that little bit of time to step back, you kind of think, okay, cool, I can be a bit normal now. I can be human again. So that was a good feeling, and I made the most of it, I think. And that's it. Like I said, I'm just back here and doing what I do best.
And you've had 3 fights up at middleweight now. Do you feel like you've fully grown into the weight and you're used to making the weight in camps as well?
I think I was a middleweight when I was at 154 anyway. So growing into the weight wasn't really an issue. It was more my body asking me, listen, like you need to move up. But yeah, no, I felt good. My performances at 160, I think they've been speaking for themselves. And yeah, I've just been learning, just been growing in terms of strength as well, because listen, the big boys at 160, they're strong as well. And I've been mixing it out here with 168 fighters, 175. So it's not really an issue to me. I've got the height and I've got the strength to take me through it. So yeah, no, 160 is good, and hopefully I'll win a world title in this division, God willing.
And August 26 on the Usyk Dubois show, you've got a Ukrainian unbeaten Dymytro Mytrofanov. How was the idea of this fight presented to you initially, and what was your reaction?
So basically, what happened was I was meant to fight in July originally. I was meant to fight in July in England. I forgot whose card it was on, and I was actually out in here in America. And then they said that show got cancelled, or I don't know what the reason was. Then I had to fly back to England because I would have overstayed my 90 days over here.
Right.
So I flew to England for 3 weeks, and then that's when I found out. They go, listen, we've got 2 dates for you. We got the Poland show and we got the September show. And I said, listen, I've been training. I would rather get out sooner rather than later. So the August show was proposed to us, and then I took the opportunity of both hands. I mean, it's away from London. I've always been saying this. I want to fight elsewhere now, just to gain that bit of experience. So now we're better than Poland. I mean, especially fighting someone on their kind of like home show, home territory kind of thing. It'll be a good one. It's a test, and to be great in this sport, you need to test yourself, and that's what I'm willing to do.
I can't imagine many fighters relishing the opportunity to go to Poland and fight a Ukrainian and unbeaten, especially on a K2 show, because obviously we forget sometimes, because Dubois is on the show, it's not a Frank Warren promotion show, albeit they've got fighters on the card. Are you, and I know you shouldn't really let this enter your head, but are there concerns about the local officiating and the judging and so on?
I think that's all been sorted. I think Andy, he sorted it all out in terms of judges and whatnot and officials and whatnot. But I mean, as a fighter, you just my mentality is just to go in there and get my I think will be 14th or something, knockout, 12th in a row. Hopefully, that's all I'm going in there for, just to do a job, to do and to do a number on him. To be quite frank with you. And like I said, you gotta kind of wake yourself up for these challenges. It's all well and good continuously fighting in London and fighting fights which you're meant to win, kind of thing. This is one where, as former Olympian WSB fighter, it's almost like 50-50 fight. So I'm looking forward to it. And there's a lot of questions being asked. So hopefully I can answer a lot of them after this fight.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about your future and which route you're going to go in. Before the injury, seemed like you and Denzel Bentley, the British champion, were on a collision course. He went out and gave Janibek, one of the world champions, all he could handle. Obviously, came up short ultimately. And then you've been linked with Janibek as well. You're in the top 10 for 2 of the 4 major sanctioning bodies. What is the route you want to take, assuming all goes well on the 26th of August?
In an ideal world, Dan, it'd be just to fight for a world title in December or early next year, whatever it may be. You name it, whatever governing body, just to fight for one and just to get one under my belt. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to really faff around here at 160 pounds. I understand people who probably listen to this think, oh, he's not ready, this, that, the other. But you only know you're not ready until you get in there and you get knocked out or whatnot, for example. But I know if I get in there, I'll do my thing and I'll end up winning the world title, and I'm extremely confident of it. But obviously the main stop is August 26th. I need to get over this. But then, like you said, in an ideal world, it'd be to pick up a world title as soon as possible.
When you saw the fight between Denzel and Janibek, did that give you a bit of extra reassurance, if you like, that the gap from British level to world level can be bridged, that maybe it's not as big as people make out?
Ultimately, I think it just comes down to the fighter and how they are up here, because listen, that's where you get defeated before anything else. It's always everything's up there, really. Especially when you fight these big fights, it's all and you hear like the media making these guys monsters and bigger than what they actually are. It's all a mental game. So until you get in there yourself, you don't really realize what it's about. So it didn't really give me reassurance. No, not really. Just show that like if you're mentally up there, you can, you know what I mean, you can overcome these challenges, or you can show people like it's not what everyone's making it out to be, kind of thing.
I want to ask you your views on a few fights in and around your weight class. The first of which took everyone kind of by surprise, and that's Jermell Charlo stepping up from your old division, 154, all the way to super middleweight to fight Canelo. I think most people expect it to be Jermell Charlo, someone who, with your WBC ranking, you've probably got your eye on, who would be climbing up to face Canelo. But it's not. It's the other twin, the smaller one. What do you make of that fight? Ballsy move.
Yeah, money talks, isn't it, Danny? Money get that Canelo, that Canelo payday. I mean, if you ask any fighters from 154 pounds to 175 who they want to fight, the name would come Canelo, because that's where the money's at. And if they do beat him, they take his crown and they become one of the kingpins in the sport. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you said, it's a ballsy move from him. I think he's got everything to gain. Canelo's the one who's got everything to lose, because if Charlo loses, what does he do? Goes back down to 154 or maybe 160, and then continues doing what he does. So it's all in. I think all the pressure's on Canelo hands, but it's nothing new to him. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing new to him.
And the big one taking place this weekend, everyone's got their own view on it, and I want to get yours. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, a fight many years in the making, both undefeated for all the major titles at welterweight. What do you make of that one?
It's a dead 50-50 fight. It's one of them ones when you get closer to the fight, you start changing your mind and you're like, oh, it might be Crawford, might be Spence. But ultimately, I've got Terence Crawford win. I just feel like he just got a little bit. It might sound a bit silly saying it now, but I think he's got a little bit more in his armory than Errol Spence has. But listen, like I always say, when it comes to boxing predictions and me, I'm the worst person to ask, because I always end up getting them wrong. But listen, if I had to pick, it'd be Bud Crawford, based off just me going off the fact that he's got a little bit more in his armory than Errol Spence.
When you have a week like this, where you've got Inoue Fulton a few days later, followed by Spence Crawford, how much does that get your juices flowing, even more than they already do, to be part of mega fights like that?
Yeah, no, it just shines a good light on boxing, especially with this YouTube boxing and whatnot coming into play. Fights like this happening just shows like the boxing, professional boxing is where it's really at, and at the top level of these fighters unifying divisions and these knockout artists. It just shows that it just gives hope, basically. It just takes away that little bit of a lot of limelight that YouTube boxing has. Do you know what I mean? It just shows that boxing itself, what it was back in the day, has still got it, and it can still produce these great mega fights.
And the last of the fights I wanted to get your view on, it's a rematch that's taking place quite soon between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. Bit of a surprise result for some in the first fight, and Eubank's gunning for revenge. What do you make of that one? And I guess more importantly, your eyes are firmly set on a world title. The winner of this won't have one. But would that, because of the name value, would that be a fight that would attract you, the winner of that one?
Yeah, of course. There's two great names in Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. Why not? I'd be a fool to say no. Do you know what I mean? These great, and they still got it, both of them. They're not exactly like old men just yet. Do you know what I mean? As you can see in their last performances, they're still doing what they do, and they're doing it to a higher caliber. So in terms of that, I think why not? It'll be, and I'm looking forward to it as well. The first one I had Chris Eubank Jr. winning, and Liam Smith done his thing. I think he shot quite a lot of people in stopping Eubank Jr. But I think I got in the rematch, I got Liam Smith winning again. Whether that be points or knockout, I have him winning again. I just feel like he's got Eubank Jr.'s number.
Brilliant. Hamzah, really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you back out in Poland in a month. And yeah, best of luck with the rest of the camp.
Cheers, Danny. I appreciate you, mate. Have a good day.